Yeah, little dinner about Jeremy and JB. Two grown-ass men with jobs and families. JB said, hey, Jim, man, do you want to start up a podcast? Jimmy said, hell yeah, brother, I'll be over there real fast. Here we go now. Oh, yeah, Rabbitt old song. Don't have to be great, it's only a minute long. Oh, yeah, the Rabbitt old song. Don't have to be great, it's only a minute long. It's not long. Don't put the clap.
It's a rabbit hole, party time, excellent. And how much do you love Wayne's World, brother?
One of my most favorite movies of all time, to be completely honest.
One of those that kind of reshaped the 90s, really.
Yeah, and encapsulates it, and like every time you get to go back to that movie, you relive it a little bit, man.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know what SNL was when I first started watching Wayne's World.
No.
And I didn't know it was an SNL sketch, and I honestly, I wanted to be Wayne. I wanted to be Wayne when I was a kid.
It's funny because, I mean, really the characters Wayne and Garth are jokes, but yeah. They kind of, for me, epitomize like what it was to be cool.
Yeah. I wanted the hat, and I wore the black T-shirt and the pants. I couldn't grow my hair long because my parents wouldn't let me. But yeah, we sang Bohemian Rhapsody every day at school.
Yeah,
and
which is a great song, one of my favorites.
Yeah, and did you like the sequel?
I don't have as much experience with the sequel as the original, so yes, I like the sequel, but it just doesn't top the original. It doesn't even touch it, right?
It had kind of a weird story, in my opinion. I didn't understand. It didn't have the spirit of the original. I didn't like the whole Wayne Stock thing. I don't know. It wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
The first one was just joke after joke after joke after joke, but set in a great story about a guy who wanted to get his cable access show off the ground.
Right.
Get it off the air. Get it on the air. And finally, it was in the way that they got kind of conned into it, being like, how it's like, I don't know what exactly they saw in them, but they saw something they could sell to a big, arcade guru.
Well, there's a scene where they're making a show called Wayne's World from Wayne's basement,
right?
And I can't remember Benjamin. I can't remember right. Benjamin Rob Lowe, right?
Yeah.
The big executive comes in basically to swoop in and take over their show. And there's a scene when they're in his apartment, and Garth's like looking through stuff, and he reads this. He's like, purchase local cable show and exploit it.
Oh, that's right. Purchase feeble public cable access show and exploit it. Whoa, I feel sorry for whoever that is.
So yeah, he kind of like
how to pick up chicks, how to meet women. He's smooth. Yeah, now it's all coming back to me when Garth was going through all this stuff. Ribbed for her pleasure. Ew.
Okay. So yeah. So that's the premise of the show there.
Yeah. And Mike Myers went off to huge heights of fortune and fame with so many.
Absolutely.
Austin Powers and
Shrek.
Shrek. And I forgot he was freaking Shrek.
Yeah, right.
How do you forget he's Shrek? He does that voice for Fat Bastard and Shrek are the same voice.
Right.
So when my kids watch Shrek, I just look, that's Fat Bastard talking to you right there. But yeah. And Dana Carvey and him, they kind of had like a falling out.
It seems like it because they didn't do it. I don't think there's another project that they worked on besides Wayne's World.
Yeah. And Dana Carvey, he had a couple of good movies that I enjoyed. One I really liked was called Clean Slate, where he would like lose his memory every night, and he was like a detective. He gets embroiled in some kind of crime conspiracy. I liked it when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, Dana Carvey. I don't know how great of an actor he was, but he's a great comic and great impersonator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He had a Comedy Central special that I would watch over and over again. He not only is he talented comedically, he's also musically talented.
Well, yeah, there's a scene in Wayne's World where he plays the drums,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always just assumed, that he was a drummer, right?
Yeah, he can play the drums, he can play the keys, he can play the guitar. He's a very multi-talented person. And even though we jest about Wayne's World and stuff, Dana Carvey did have some pretty sad, I mean, the ultimate sad news. His son and his son's wife passed away from probably the worst way that any parent could imagine. Fentanyl, cocaine, and ketamine, which it seems to be a pattern happening all of a sudden.
Right. Well,
It's sad. It really is.
especially in Hollywood, and it's probably not talked about enough, and we're not going to necessarily get into it here, but like all around, all across America, I mean, it keeps on happening. So it's really sad to say.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Dex Carvey. It's very sad, and we could express our condolences to Dana Carvey and his family as well. Speaking of celebrities, I have a question for you, JB.
Yeah.
If you were somebody who, had made many, many albums over the years and have millions of fans all over the world, and if you were appreciative of those fans and you had a show that you needed to show up for at a specific time, would you not show up at that time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You bet your ass I would.
Okay, so I have a question for not JB. Now I'm going to pose this question to Madonna. Why the fuck can't you show up on time? What is going on with you?
So what happened here?
2 hours. People are waiting more than 2 hours for this woman to go up on stage. Her latest excuse, I think it was Philadelphia. And she says, due to the weather, we're not going to be, starting on time. And then everybody in Philly's like, what weather? It's fine. What are you doing? So yeah, and this is in New York. She's getting sued for this shit. Now she is getting sued because she can't show up on time. Understandably, people are upset about this. I mean, during the week, they have babysitters that need to be paid. They need to go to work in the morning. I mean, come on.
So she's like canceling her shows?
Not even canceling, just showing up 2 hours late.
Oh.
Just keeping people waiting.
Okay.
I don't understand it. Material Girl, what's going on with you?
So this reminds me of Bobby Lee, right? I've been bringing this guy up, right? Bad Friends podcast.
You seem to be at war with Bad Friends all of a sudden.
One of the last episodes, this is actually because I had mentioned him, or them, right? Copy striking some smaller YouTubers' channels.
Yeah, could you explain that a little bit better to me? The copy strike thing?
I haven't looked into it any further. What a copy strike is, so like you can, there's like two forms. You can have like a copyright, which is where you get like a small piece of the income from that video because you can like prove that they used your material, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that makes perfect sense for a song. Like if somebody uses a song and you want to copyright it, you can get paid, for your song.
Sure.
But they're copy striking, which is like they take the whole video and they put a mark on your channel. So like, yeah, now you have like something on your permanent record because of that.
I see.
Anyways, though, one of their last episodes, and I think this is what the person they copy struck was talking about, was like Bobby Lee was like 45 minutes late for an interview with David Spade.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So like, and I don't know what everybody's opinion on him is, but like David Spade is, like, I emphasize that name. It's freaking David Spade, dude. Like
He's earned his place.
Yeah, you shouldn't be late on him.
No, you shouldn't be late, Bobby Lee. What's up with that?
Yeah,
buddy?
what's up with all these old celebrities that can't show up on time?
Show up on time, man. Please.
Yeah. I mean, we have to do it in our little boy jobs.
Our little boy. Okay.
Well, they're big boy jobs.
Well, they're big boy jobs, and we're little fish in a gigantic pond.
Yeah.
Basically, we're cogs in the machine. We're whores to the industry. We're all of the above. But we got families to support, so that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, what else is in the news? Okay, so I just recently learned this. I did not know that Domino's, the global franchise of Domino's, originated right here in Michigan, in Ypsilanti. I did not know that until about 2 days ago.
I didn't know that either, man.
And Domino's has shelled out over $25,000 to keep our roads clear so their delivery drivers can deliver piping hot pies to the community, and I think that's pretty freaking cool. Because it's been a mess up here in the Mitten and above, and everywhere else. Nobody's been really spared from this weather. If you're not getting winter weather, you're getting slammed with a hurricane in the middle of the country, or you're getting, horrible storms out west, or snow coming up from the south. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on right now. So I was really happy to see that Domino's was willing to shell out some money to keep these roads clear so people could get their pizzas. How cool is that? We love you, Domino's.
It is cool.
But your pizza sucks.
It's not the best.
It's not for us, no. Speaking of pizza, there is a man named Jonathan Garza from Clinton Township in Michigan, a Hungry Howie's employee, helped to rescue a boy who fell through the ice in, I believe it was a lake. He saw this little boy fall right through it, heard the screams and help. He decided, I'm going to call the cops, get over there right away, and he helped the police get this kid out. So I want to shout out Jonathan Garza. Hero, good job, buddy.
Awesome.
That was really cool.
Hey, it's not every day you get to hear about good news, like in the news. We're normally talking about bad stuff, so hooray, a little boy was saved. That's awesome.
Right. That's right. So have you heard about the Crow remake?
No, but I'm interested.
Yeah, so you've obviously seen the original, I'm assuming, with Brandon Lee. Did you see any of the sequels?
I've seen them. Like, they didn't leave a lasting impression.
One of them made me laugh so freaking hard. I've watched it like 3 times. I forget what the actual name is, but it's the one starring Eddie Furlong, the kid from the Terminator, playing the Crow.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot which one it is, but yeah, me and the wife watched that one a lot. It's funny as hell. Not intentionally, unintentionally funny. But they are remaking The Crow, and they're bringing in Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård, to play Eric Draven this time around.
Eric Draven. Oh, okay.
The Crow, basically. And I remember The Crow, really, it was an interesting film for me because the pace was so kind of uneven with that movie, and scenes were kind of cobbled together. The first time I watched it, I didn't really understand it. I mean, I understood there was a revenge movie, but there was just a lot of things like just little flashes here that I wanted to know more about The Crow.
Yeah.
And they never really developed it in the sequels or anything. And, of course, we know that Brandon Lee, I forgot, how, was it a blank?
It was some kind of accidental discharge of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do believe, that's what I remember. I remember hearing about this when I was a kid. So, but yeah, that it was a blank, that somehow something was in the barrel. So nonetheless, you still have a pressure from a blank, and it projected whatever was lodged in the barrel.
Okay,
but
so
I might be wrong.
Okay, yeah. So it's not a rust situation. It was just a defective blank.
Yeah, rust. There's an interesting topic.
Oh,
Alec? Yeah, they charged him.
I know. How? What do you do? What can you do?
I don't know, dude. I'm conspiracy minded, so I go to there was some trickery going on here, dude, and it's more than it could possibly be, anyways, right? It could be more than negligence. It could be a way to cover up a crime. And then so there's things, there's details. I want a detective on it is what I want though. I want a hard hitting investigative prosecutor.
You want that dude who doesn't, he sleeps in his car, he drinks coffee like water and whiskey like coffee, that kind of guy, the hard-boiled detective who won't stop at nothing.
And who's not gonna, it won't take no for an answer, because there might be angles here that aren't what you would expect, and I feel like Alec Baldwin is a celebrity, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and you might as well look into all angles anyways, and yeah. So I think, what are they calling it? An accidental manslaughter.
Yeah,
and
something
that's
like that.
Probably the case. So what does Alec do? What's the problem? Is he's a producer on this show, so he's more than just some actor, and there's many reasons why he could be responsible, being that he's the one who's handling the gun, the last one. There's rules and regulations that he broke, and there's other things, they say there was live ammo on the set because they were essentially target practicing in their off time.
You shouldn't have live ammunition on movies.
So legitimately they shouldn't have it. So if he's a producer and he's somewhat responsible for what's happening on set.
Yeah.
So if they're violating, there's many angles I see on like how he can be culpable of
Yeah.
her death.
Yeah, definitely. And then but at the same time, you got to feel for the guy a little bit.
Sure. So you can also see the scenario where it is like you are just an actor. They're like, here, take this, do this, and then like something terrible happens.
Yeah, I don't know which way to swing on that. It really it's
I can see how that's not his. That wouldn't necessarily be his fault. Like right, but he's more than just some guy that they just paid to look good on the screen. There's more behind this. So like. So a lot of actors do that, right? Where they'll like have some small part in a movie, but they'll take a producer credit.
Yeah.
Like it's accreditation. You look cool because you're a producer. But like here, there might be more that comes along with it than just having your name in a producer role. Like you might be. Yeah, this is it's a crazy story.
It really is.
It's amazing that this woman ended up dead, and it's different than the Brandon Lee story because, like we're saying there, I mean, it's all crazy, but it was at least a blank. I'm pretty positive there. Here, it was live ammo.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Why would there be live ammunition on a film set using guns? There shouldn't be.
Right.
Oh, so yeah, I don't like I said, I don't know which way to swing. It's really it's hard to swing one way or another without either pissing people off or, sounding like a fool. So yeah, whatever.
I think at the very least, like it needs to be taken as seriously as anything anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of being taken seriously, did you know that the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer series, that's a segue, right? The original Buffy the Vampire Slayer series was produced by a company owned by Dolly Parton?
No, I did not know that.
I am
Wow.
chock full of info today, folks. Well, it seems that according to Dolly, that production company is now in the works of producing and rebooting Buffy the Vampire Slayer series again.
Interesting.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the series. Now, I remember the movie.
Right. Well, the series like just was a way offshoot from the movie.
Oh God, I think the movie was trying to be a comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And then the series took it much more seriously and,
Yes,
dived into an entire universe of things that I honestly can't pull up that much memory of now. But then you have the Angel series that was
an offshoot
of that. I remember that much more than I remember Buffy. But yeah, they are going to bring back, or I think they're in the works of bringing back that series. And I think it would be kind of cool to see it again. But nobody can top Sarah Michelle Gellar's Buffy.
Dude, you and me are on the same page there because that was a huge upheaval for me. I was had a huge crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar.
SMG. Yeah, she just had a series get canceled.
Really?
Yeah, after one season, they did it again. They just canceled it out flat.
Well, I hadn't heard about it.
I can't even remember what streaming service it was on. I'll put it right here because I forgot again. Speaking of streaming services, Netflix just acquired a huge deal from the WWE. Starting in 2025, Netflix will have all the rights to the WWE.
That's pretty cool. Whatever gets the WWE product more mainstream is cool by me. But man, it seems like they've just made so many like flip-flops in the last couple years of like where they're being broadcast. Back in the days of cable, it was like so simple and easy. Like what was Raw on
USA,
exactly.
USA.
And like you always knew that WCW was going to be on TNT like same day, same time, all the time.
SmackDown was on Fox.
Did they still have the WWE network where you can just sign up with them?
I'm not sure what's going to happen. There's another thing that's up in the air. WWE Network, the archives, they're not sure if they're going to give Netflix access to the archives.
Oh.
So I don't know what's going to happen with the WWE Network. All I know is that, I'm a little upset with Hulu right now because the only way that I can watch SmackDown and I can watch Raw was Hulu, and I would have to wait the next day to watch it. And now they don't even do that anymore. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's something on my computer, or maybe it's just something happening in general. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments below.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Tell me, people. What is going on? Why can't I watch Raw and SmackDown on Hulu anymore? It's really hard because tonight, it's the 27th. Tonight is the Royal Rumble, and I have no idea what's been happening the last couple weeks on my shows.
Yeah, and that's where my confusion's been, because aren't they, like, the archives are on Peacock?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But they don't have the new episodes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't put the new episodes up, but they put the pay-per-views on there.
Yeah.
And you can watch all the. It's like it's hard to know where you're supposed to be to see what they're doing.
Yeah, and I love the WWE Network, as I have Peacock, and I love going back and watching all the old Attitude Era stuff and the new generation stuff and the WCW Raw War. I love going back and forth and watching those episodes and stuff. But yeah, I want to watch my Raw and SmackDown, and I don't know where the hell to watch it at.
Yeah,
and tonight's the Royal Rumble, and do you have any particular pick for winner?
Today, no, I don't. I wouldn't even. I don't know where to find the shows. I don't know what's happening leading up to this. You told me today that the Royal Rumble's happening. I didn't know.
See, I can't give you my pick for the winner either because I don't know what's been happening.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, dude.
It is. I know that our main guy Seth freaking Rollins is having some trouble right now. He tore his meniscus in his leg.
Oh, that's
he's going to be out for a while. I don't know if they're going to make him relinquish the title, but yeah, he will not be competing anytime soon. Yeah, it sucks.
So, what was this you're mentioning? Is because there was rumor a few months ago, a year ago, whatever, that Vince McMahon was stepping down from being the CEO, anyways, of the company. Like, is that happening? Because he ended up backing out, coming back.
He came back, and now, this is really recent. This happened just, I saw it this morning, that he's being sued once again for allegations of trafficking and sexual assault. I forgot the name of the woman. Her first name is Janelle. I'll get her name right here. And she's accusing Vince McMahon of doing all that. Vince McMahon is flat out denying it, saying it is just riddled with lies, everything that she says. But because of these kind of situations that we see all the time, unfortunately, he has decided to resign his position with WWE and TKO. He's done. He's backing out permanently.
Well, that's an unfortunate circumstance there. I didn't know that was what it was going to be about, but a lot of people have been pretty excited to see him leave, and for Triple H, who is his legitimate son-in-law, to actually take over the business. So let's kind of honestly, what they need is a new direction, and I don't know if it's like lack of Vince McMahon. Yeah, I don't know if it's lack of him that they need, but anyways,
I don't really. It's hard to say. You're right. When Vince came back, there was a lot of questionable things that were going on at the time. Triple H is doing what he can, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard. It's a lot of balls in the air because you got SmackDown, you got Raw, and all that. I mean, yeah. Where do you go?
I don't know. Back to the old days. That's what I'd say.
I agree, man.
Take it back old school. Make it simple.
Make it more raw. Make it deadlier.
Yeah. Honestly. Sorry to say it, but
no, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I'm just kidding.
You've watched them get hurt, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there's an intensity that they used to have that they just don't have anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
No, you're right. You're right. There's a lot of things that just don't fly today.
Yeah.
They used to fly.
Like, remember ECW?
Oh, man. ECW was hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of it, but I mean, I've seen plenty of clips where it was brutal, man.
I was just going to say that word, brutal.
And that's when, like, backyard wrestling really took off, too, and I'm sure I've seen plenty of clips of some brutal backyard wrestling, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, okay, I don't want it to get that far, you know, But it's man, why does the world have to work like that? It's like if something has to get pushed to like this intense extreme,
Right.
and then it's like, well, now we have to reel it so far back that it's not fun anymore.
Right. It was right for me. The split was when they brought in. It was still during the Attitude Era, but they brought in the censorship, or what was that? Do you remember?
I remember the censors.
Yeah, and it was just their theme music was just a oh, dude, that annoyed the crap out of me. And every time they showed up on screen, I was like, all right, I'm done with wrestling. I'm done.
Ooh.
Yeah, that took me out of it because everything was just getting just cleaned up.
And
But-
that's where it seems like it is now, and yeah, I don't know.
It's a totally different beast now than what it was. And yeah, we sound like old codgers. Remember back in the day when wrestling used to have TNA and all sorts of crazy shit. But yeah,
Stone Cold could drink beers. Like, are you even allowed to do that anymore?
he could spray his boss with a hose full of beer.
Yeah.
Come on, that's fucking classic shit right there.
If you ask me, that's what like really put wrestling on the map was Stone Cold and Vince McMahon's interactions. And their era. So,
yeah, when he was Mr. McMahon,
Yeah.
that was great stuff. And it was a blue collar guy giving his boss the finger every single day at work.
Right.
It was great.
Right.
It was great. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We respect our bosses.
No, but he did all those things. I mean, he gave him the finger, he beat him up, and then he poured beer on him,
and then he shook his hand and was like, all right, I'll play ball.
which isn't something I want to do. Not at all.
He's a fighter. Speaking of fighter, Jake Gyllenhaal has taken the role of Patrick Swayze's in Roadhouse.
He likes to fight.
He going in Roadhouse. But unfortunately for...
Hey now.
Hey now. Howard Stern's our guest in the corner. No, I'm kidding. No, just kidding. But yeah, unfortunately for Jake, he is going straight to Amazon Prime for this. He's not going to theaters.
Yeah, is it going to be like a TV show or is it a movie?
It's a movie.
It's not a
movie.
series.
It's
Okay.
directed by Doug Liman, who has directed The Bourne Identity. He did Go. He did Swingers. He's a good director. And he's so pissed off about this change of events. He's boycotting his own film. He's like,
Interesting.
yeah.
I seen it advertised just the other day, like for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like a slap fight.
Yeah.
I mean, which sounds like badass because he's like, I'm gonna whip the fuck out of you by just slapping you. But to me, it's reminiscent of, you'll have little red handprints all over your face.
And it's Jake Gyllenhaal. Nothing against Jake Gyllenhaal as a person, but it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't see you as a badass bouncer. I'm sorry. I don't see it.
It's hard, man.
And I know he trained, and his physique, he looks good. He looks like he could kick some ass, but I can't accept it.
What do you think about Patrick Swayze, though, in the original role? Because
Don't you dare say one word about my Patrick.
But, like, did he not have, like, did he have a tough guy, like,
No.
right, so, like,
Not at all. But you believed him.
he was kind of believable, but, like, was there the same kind of a controversy for him where it was, like, really this guy?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I think Patrick Swayze at the time. Well, you got to think of the time too, the 1980s. When that physique, it wasn't all about being ripped and able to bench press 90,000 pounds. You were lean and you had sinew, and that was enough. And Patrick oozed masculinity, sexuality. Am I jerking him off enough here? He worked for the role.
I hear you, yeah.
Yeah, but my favorite was always Point Break. He was awesome in Point Break.
Okay. With Jake Gyllenhaal in this new movie, yeah, okay. Straight to streaming services.
Straight to streaming. Speaking of streaming, Peacock, I think, has announced already that they're going to be making a sequel to the Five Nights at Freddy film. And let's hope they make it a little more intense, because the first one was kind of weak. Like I said before in my 30-second review of the film, it's a good introduction to horror for your kids kind of thing. But I think if they're going to go on with the story, they're going to have to, kind of like what they did with Harry Potter. Like, if you watch the Harry Potter films, they start out as a nice family, kind of friendly, kind of, a little spooky here and there.
They get older as they go on, yeah.
Fuckers are dying left and right in the worst ways. So, yeah, they're going to have to wrap up the intensity.
Well, that makes sense. Is that video game franchise still, like, popular today?
They literally just announced a new game.
Okay, so you think it's still, like, hip with the new kids? Because when did it originally come out?
Oh, Jesus. It came out in this date right here.
Wow, that was such a long time ago.
I know. It's like, wow, so much time has passed since the original Five Nights at Freddy's game.
So my question really is, like, how old would like the kids who played it originally, be now?
Yeah, they're probably getting into their late teens, early 20s, probably.
Yeah. Well, so maybe that's not enough distance yet to have like that dark, gritty movie.
Yeah.
And have the fan base be ready for it. But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I rewatched the first one, and I was expecting a little bit more, but I guess I probably shouldn't have been. And yeah, it was okay for what it was. And like I said, I hope the second one they ramp it up just a little bit more. I think kids can handle it.
Well, have you ever watched, and I don't know if we brought this up yet, but there's a Nicolas Cage movie that's basically the same idea here. Have you seen this?
Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
You're asking me if I have seen a Nicolas Cage? Oh, dude, trust me. If a Nicolas Cage film comes out, I am seeing it.
Excellent. Okay.
That's
so what
my
did you think
man.
about that?
Brilliantly horrible. It was.
Right.
Did you watch it?
I've seen at least the beginning. I don't know how it ends.
Well, the best part about it is that Nicolas Cage does not say a single word throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
Not one word. And he pounds energy drinks like they're Mario mushrooms. Like, that's his power up. He just
That makes so much sense, dude. For like a video game thing.
Yeah. But the set that they used, it looked like they had like a use of an empty classroom, and they tried to make this gigantic pizzeria out of it. But like, they had enough room for a couple of tables, a thing that wasn't much of a stage but had curtains, a minuscule ball pit that's about the size of your couch. And yeah, and teeny tiny hallways. It was a very claustrophobic set. And every time that Nicolas Cage would fight one of these animatronics, not only would he beat the shit out of them, but they would like bleed.
Yeah.
And he would never lose. There was never a point like you thought that they were going to get him or have any kind of advantage over him. He would always just beat the fuck out of them and then go back to cleaning and playing pinball and pounding these energy drinks. Meanwhile, these teenagers are trying to burn it down?
Yeah,
what?
because like people were dying or something.
Yeah,
right?
like there's a whole what is like a devil worship conspiracy thing going on, like serial killers that are inside the animatronics. I don't really remember. But yeah, the best thing about that movie is Nicolas Cage just beating the shit out of animatronics, not saying a word, and pounding energy drinks. The rest of the movie is filler. It is just, we're waiting for Nicolas Cage to make an appearance.
Yeah.
And yeah, it ends in the best way possible. He gets his car back and rides off into the sunset, still not saying a word.
So compared to like the Five Nights at Freddy's, though, like how does it line up? Because they're the same idea.
It is the exact same idea. It's really hard for me to. It's got to be Willy's Wonderland, but I'm biased. I'm biased because of the Cage Man, brother.
Well, right, but that's part of the appeal of the movie. So
yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's. It was okay. It was okay. I can't give it too many accolades, but it was all right. Speaking of all right, we on our second episode we kind of alluded that we were very disappointed in the Masters of the Universe Revelation Kevin Smith miniseries on Netflix, and I still stand by that disappointment. I don't care what you did in Revolution. I still stand by that disappointment for Revelation. But out of pure curiosity, because it killed the cat, I watched Masters of the Universe Revolution, yesterday, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did. As an old He-Man fan, it had everything I was looking for. I know you haven't watched it yet.
No.
I'm not going to give away any spoilers. But if you think there's going to be more of what you hated in Revelation, it's not there. Revolution is a genuinely good story with all the characters you know and love, with a great, satisfying ending too. So yeah, I say if you're on the fence about watching Revolution as opposed for what you experienced from Revelation, don't worry about it. You will enjoy Revolution if you're a He-Man fan.
So that's good to hear, because I know I've heard a lot of complaining so far that it wasn't, that it was going to be more of the same.
It's really not. It's really not.
Cool. So I haven't heard anybody else review it yet. So
It's-
you're the first one I'm getting.
Yeah, it's not bad. I really liked it.
Awesome. So
He-Man's He-Man, and yeah, Skeletor. It's great.
so Kevin Smith you're redeemed for now.
Yeah, and he's on the internet defending it. He's like, you know, guys, I was going to bring him back. He wasn't going to stay dead. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You killed him off. Episode 1, dude.
No, you still have crimes to answer for, Kevin Smith.
But for right now, you're on parole.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna look the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have to give that a shot though.
Yeah. There's all sorts of crazy things happening right now. Do you remember the movie The Lost Boys from the 80s, the vampire movie?
Do I remember the movie The Lost Boys? This is it's a part of my childhood, man. I
Yeah.
actually remember watching that movie when I was like really young, right? So
Yeah.
and like having like dreams of it for years and years. Like, oh, I remember that movie, and
Mhm.
almost not even knowing that it existed. I don't know. Was it a dream? I don't. And then when I finally found it again, the real movie. Oh, that's The Lost Boys. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's got a soft, lives deeply in my heart.
Sure. That was one of those movies that, again, it's like, all right, that one was a little more horror based, but it had a kid element to it because you had Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, and Jameson Newlander as the kids in that scenario, and I always thought that it was just basically a darker version of the Goonies.
That's a great way to put it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because there is the horror element to it,
Yeah.
but it's not over the top in any way that I remember.
Just the one scene where they're tearing apart those dudes at the bonfire. I remember that being pretty gory.
Okay.
Like they're biting the tops of their heads off
Yeah.
and peeling it back and shit. Yeah.
Okay, but for kids, like in that movie, the kids develop a plan. They
Yeah.
come up with a way to like fight back against the vampires, and it's in like kid ways too.
Yeah.
It's not, like
Squirt guns.
exactly.
Filled with holy water and garlic.
So-
yeah.
So it is like a kid triumph videos or movie, and
Yeah.
kids love that. They love seeing like that, like a little kid like overcame. Like Home Alone is huge with my kids.
Oh, sure.
Because like the kid takes care of the burglars all on his own.
Mhm.
Like, they love that.
Yeah, the kids are declaring their independence. They can do what any adult could do, probably more efficient and better.
Yeah, and kids need a little bit of horror too, and
Yeah, we've gone so soft and so safe.
but yeah, here's a nice little injection into the realm of horror. That is still very much in the world of like a kids movie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, death by stereo. Yeah, well, so now, I mean, they've made I think they've made 2 sequels to The Lost Boys. I own one of them, and it does have Corey Feldman in it, and it does have not Kiefer Sutherland, but his younger half-brother Angus Sutherland, who I've never heard of until that film, and I think that due to his name only is why he got that role, because he is in fact a Sutherland in a Lost Boys film, because he's not a very good actor. But then there was another one which I think only had like Corey Feldman in it that I hadn't seen. But now they are making a Lost Boys musical for Broadway. They're going the route of the Back to the Future thing. The Back to the Future is a musical now. And
Really?
yeah, I mean, the Lost Boys had a great soundtrack. I mean, great. They had the Doors on there, and they had the Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, and Sail On Through the Night. Great soundtrack. Oh, and how could I forget Tim Capello's I Still Believe. That saxophone guy, dude, I still follow him to this day. He is still performing to this day. But yeah. How are you going to make a musical out of the Lost Boys? People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Vampire. Vampire. I don't know how you're going to do that. Are they... Why don't you try some noodles? It's worms, it's worms, it's only noodles. It's worms, it's worms. How are you going to put that into a musical?
They'll probably rewrite the whole thing, and it will really just be like Lost Boys in name only. You'll have the same concept, but yeah.
Oh, I'm curious. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do. Oh my goodness.
Get tickets for that one.
I might. I want to get tickets to see. Are you going to go with me to see Frozen Empire?
Yeah, we should definitely.
I want you there. I do. I want you there because I know I'll probably bring Phineas along too, or maybe just be a guys' night. I don't know, but yeah, that's something I definitely want to see. You have to see in the theaters. That's exclusively in theaters. The theater going experience is great if it wasn't so damn expensive. It's getting ridiculous now, man. Just to go out for one night, you got to spend $100.
That's pretty much everything, though, dude.
Yep. That comes with aging, I suppose.
What? Oh, was I that obvious? Age has kind of caught up to me a little bit this week, man.
Preach, brother.
Whatever. Bumps and bruises, getting old, don't recover nearly as fast as I used to, and that's got to definitely be the worst part of getting older at all. I don't know about you, man, but I don't mind most anything. The wife loves to pick out gray hairs in my beard and things. Like I'll get one that pops up here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care. I'll let the whole thing go gray. That doesn't bother me at all. But
I'm waiting for me to get some cinnamon and sugar going on here, but I don't.
Yeah.
I just keep losing up here.
I think the gray just makes you look like a distinguished gentleman, and I'll say bring it on. But yeah, the bumps and bruises and not being able to move, all the time the way I want, really sucks.
Yeah. That's the bones get creaky and the joints just start flaring up, and is it arthritis? Is it just old age? What is happening to our bodies?
Yeah, it's not like it was when I was younger, man. Like I've fallen down a couple times, and man, at 37, falling down hurts a lot more than I remember. Being a kid, running around the playground, falling down, just getting up and brushing dirt off me. That's not how things work anymore.
No, it's a sensation that travels all the way down to your bones, man. It's just like, bam!
So a little rabbit tip for this weekend is don't get old, ladies and gentlemen.
Stay as youthful as possible.
Yeah.
I know I am. I mean,
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm wearing a Cheshire Cat shirt, and I'm 40 years old.
I'm definitely young in mind.
Oh, yeah.
And
You're
young
only
in
as
heart.
you're only as old as you feel. I mean, I feel 56. But I look like I should be in my 20s.
Yeah. Act that way sometimes, but that doesn't translate over.
We're getting so close to doomsday. Did you hear that the doomsday clock is now 90 seconds to midnight, the closest?
Whoa. No, wait, man. With how things have been going, that sounds like an eternity.
Oh,
90
dude.
seconds.
The closest it's
Don't
ever
worry about
been.
nothing, fellas.
The closest it's ever been in history, folks. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know what it means. I've looked it up because, like I was just explaining to you before we started, I thought the first time I had heard about the doomsday clock was on the movie Watchmen.
Yeah.
I thought it was a thing for the Watchmen, and now it turns out it's a real thing. So when I read this article that the doomsday clock is 90 seconds to midnight, closest it's ever been, and I'm like, how long have we been looking at this clock? And it turns out for a long time. So I guess the midnight would be annihilation from nuclear
Yeah.
war, global catastrophe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get political. I'm not going to get anything like that. I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that this is a real thing, and I didn't know about it. And I'm not scared at all. I'm not. Because apparently we've been watching this shit for decades, if not,
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it's
and
yeah. It's hard to talk about it without getting political.
yeah,
For
I
one,
think
we
yeah.
can just say it's fear mongering.
Yeah, definitely.
Who knows? Maybe you're supposed to be scared, Jeremy. That's cool.
I'm not scared. If you're gonna drop a bomb on me, honestly, if you're gonna drop a bomb on me, I will sit out in the front of my yard holding hands with my family, as I know there's nowhere I can run. Nuclear bomb, done,
Yeah.
done, one
Well,
and done.
I often feel like just Sarah Connor from the Terminator, and anyways, I'm just like fucking. I'll just bite onto the fence. Fuck grabbing it. I'll bite that motherfucker.
Damn right, dude. That's another first for me. The first time I saw like Annihilation from an Atomic Bomb was that movie, and that scared the shit out of me.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. There you go for like horror movies.
Mhm.
That definitely had a lasting effect on me like that. And yeah, that in a way, like that's what it will be like, and kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna grab the fucking fence, dude.
Yeah, ride the wave.
Yeah.
What else can you do?
At this point in time, nothing.
Yeah. Sad, but it's true. Not to get too grim on you, but yeah.
Grab the fence.
Yeah. But I will say one more grim thing. So I don't exactly know how this works, apparently, but Alabama has just given the okay to start a new kind of execution procedure called nitrogen hypoxia, something like that. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Once again, it's right here. But basically, they flood your system with nitrogen, which humans cannot breathe,
Right.
and replaces the oxygen. And that's a new form of execution that is now accepted.
Oh, that might make sense. It might be really like completely painless.
It could, as long as they get it tight enough where no oxygen is going to get in there. Because if any oxygen gets in that mask, it's going to prolong it. And
Sure.
then you're going to vomit, and you're going to have, get dizzy, and you're
But
going to suffer.
I've heard stories of like nitrogen poisoning from deep sea divers or divers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's-
Isn't that the bends? Is that what that is?
I'm not sure. I'm
Oh.
not sure.
But yeah. It's essentially the same thing. And they're doing that because they say that the lethal injection drugs are getting harder and harder to make and get. So this particular guy, I forgot his name, and I'm not even going to give him credit for it, but this guy was convicted of murdering a preacher's wife, who the preacher actually hired to do. And he was supposed to be executed last November, but they couldn't find a vein.
Right.
So basically, you're on your deathbed. You're like, okay, ready for the big ride, baby, and the motherfucker cannot find a vein.
Yeah.
So I guess you're not dying today. What does that do to you psychologically? That's crazy. That would drive me insane.
I don't know, but that's where like tried and true measures like the the good old chair.
The chair never fails.
Yeah.
I say bring back the guillotine. Honestly, if I'm going to be executed, I want to make sure I'm laughing at every motherfucker who did this to me before I actually die. Because why they say the brain lasts like 7 minutes.
It's like 20 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, I
hope.
want to be in the basket looking up going, I ain't got nobody. Yeah, I want to go out with a laugh. Not that I want to be executed. I'd rather go out, naturally or by a giant meteor and or, act of God. But
Go out Armageddon style, Bruce Willis.
Armageddon
Can't
style.
Save us.
Yeah, I want to hit the button that blows up the asteroid.
Oh,
and
you
saves the world.
want to sacrifice yourself for the betterment of mankind, huh?
Well, I would rather do that than be on the receiving end of it.
I'd be Ben
Ben Affleck?
Yeah, I got it right. I'd be Ben Affleck. I'd be like, no, Jeremy. Okay, say it.
Crying like a
Thanks.
little bitch going in that elevator. I love you.
And just until I was out of sight, it's like, you can't see me anymore.
No, I did like Ben Affleck in that movie.
Me too. Yeah.
I did.
A few Ben Affleck movies where he's pretty good. Yeah.
I actually just watched the Batman v Superman yesterday because I don't know why. I watched the original Superman with Christopher Reeve. totally re-fell in love with Superman or Christopher Reeve as Superman.
Okay.
Perfect fucking Superman. Margot Kidder, not Lois Lane. But yeah, then I watched Man of Steel once again because I wanted to compare the origin stories, and slightly different. But the action aspect of Man of Steel was a little more invigorating than watching that huge close up of Krypton. Hey now, so then I watched Batman v Superman, and I actually enjoyed Ben Affleck again as Batman. I always was going to boycott it to begin with because I always thought I was like, Ben Affleck as Batman? No.
Right.
Not bad. Not bad. He chiefed up for it, and yeah, he's a decent Bruce Wayne, and I like how they gave him like an actual Batman voice with a microphone and stuff because, yeah, Ben Affleck can't do a Batman voice. But yeah, I did enjoy it. And I'm going to watch Justice League again, too, and come back with not a comprehensive review. That's a 4-hour-long movie. But, maybe talk about it a little bit next time.
Okay. Yeah, I do think he was a good Bruce Wayne. Maybe not great Batman, but good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for us here at The Rabbit Hole. Episode 8, we are done.
Hey, please remember to like the video, subscribe if you are not subscribed, and leave a comment.
Comment.
Yeah.
Tell us what you want us to talk about, because we're always out of ideas. In case you haven't noticed,
We have no ideas.
we always go by the seat of our pants. So if you want to hear us talk about something, it's on you, my ladies and gentlemen. From all of us here at We Are Neon Rabbit, we'll catch you next time. See ya.